Earlier, you in speaking about the areas of focus that you would recommend, security was among them, and in your home state of Kaduna, the killings have sort of resumed again. There's terrorism and banditry. You've touched on that in passing as we're speaking. So this is a problem that has been sort of resistant to solution. How optimistic are you that fresh legs, so to speak, using the soccer analogy, might make a difference in this worrying problem?
Well, first of all, I will give a little answer to the former caller.
Sure. Okay. As to what
we have achieved
your Senate achieved. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, if the Lawan Senate has achieved more than us, then nobody could have said that the next Senate president is going to will be pitied with the kind of country which he is going to inherit. First of all, our Senate prevented the executive from piling up unnecessary debt, which certainly is going to be a burden for this country. Our Senate performed our function as a parliament by holding the executive to account and performing our oversight function, which is what a parliament should be able to do. The danger of having a subservient parliament is the very fact that you will have a dictatorship in the country, and that is it. Now, if you are talking about Kaduna State, Kaduna is part of the northwestern state, and we have the problems of banditry and terrorism for many years now. And the killings in particular southern Kaduna has been more grievous. Not that there was no killing in the Muslim part of northern Kaduna, but the fact that the ones in southern Kaduna is peculiar. They kill people, they burn down houses, they rape women, they attack churches, and attack people irrespective of where they come from the southern part of the country. Why people hear more about it is that the elected representatives from the southern part of Kaduna, they are political leaders, they are traditional leaders, they are religious leaders, are vocal in telling the world, this is the situation of our people, come and see. As for the northern part of Kaduna, Muslims are also being killed. Their homes are being burned down. Their women are being raped. Even 2 days ago, it happened in Biningwari. But the elected representative from the northern part don't want to be seen making this public because they don't want to upset the state government, or they don't want to be seen to be embarrass the government. So the religious leaders and also the political leaders, they choose to remain silent in order to protect the image of the government and the system. Not that our people are also not being killed in northern part of Kaduna. So the world only have one side of the tragedy, because the leaders from that southern part of the Kaduna state are telling the world what is actually happening, while our own prefer to hide our own tragedy, which is also a very big mistake. Apart from me, I can't remember any senator from northern part, any reps from northern part of Kaduna that has stood consistently in the National Assembly and tell the world that our own part, we from the northern part of Kaduna, are also facing the same problem. And for that, I also had my problems with the state and other people who felt I should also keep quiet, which I cannot. The solution to the problems are not that very easy, because to solve the problem with Kaduna, it has to be done on a regional basis. Because if you send the Air Force to attack the terrorist camp in Kaduna without doing it in Kebbi and Zamfara and Sokoto state, they will move there, and when you are done, they will come back. Kaduna borders Niger state and Zamfara state, and all the states are almost hubs of terrorism and banditry. So if you don't address the problems of those states, our own too will certainly not be addressed. How do we go about this? First of all, the need to use technology. There is no hidden place in the 21st century for anyone. If our own security apparatus will use the necessary technology, these problems can be solved. You have to use local intelligence. Our own villagers need to be drafted. As much as many of them were informants to terrorists and bandits, we should also ensure that they are on our side to give us necessary and relevant information. Action also needs to be taken as at when due, not when terrorists are passing through a village and they keep on making calls, people keep on making calls, and nothing happens until after an hour or two. Take, for example, what happened in the trains, the attack on the trains 1 year ago. In the 21st century, it is awkward to see terrorists waiting ahead for a train to attack without any information given to the authorities that such things are taking place. Even when they attack, they spend about 2 to 3 hours doing what they want to, and then they left.